name is TJ Gamble, and this is Brewzle. But what does it actually take to get one of these in the state of Alabama?
So all told, we spent about $400, but this is what we got.
That's a good whiskey. There's a lot going on there. All right, looks like we got that intro to work, and I think I figured out why it's not working. I don't know why it's doing that, but I think I figured out why it's not working, so if I remember from now on, shouldn't be a problem. So y'all give me an audio video check. Let me know what's up down in the comments. We got a lot of stuff we could do tonight. Jill is not here. She's gone to take care of the new grandbaby. So she's down at Will's house hanging out with him, probably watching so we can't get in too much trouble. But got a lot of whiskey on the bar here, so we're going to have some of it. Sounds good. Awesome. Looks like we got a pretty good crowd starting out here already. Dr. Bo finally made a live stream. Thank you for finally making it. I appreciate it. I miss Jill too. I thought she was going to stream with me last week, but she was busy. So she's been pretty busy, a lot going on lately. So it's just been me. I apologize, but hopefully I'm enough. Texas in the house, Train Master. Thanks for joining the stream. I'm going to hit a little ZBiotics here before we get started. They did not sponsor this live stream, but why ZBiotics, you might ask? Well, I want to have a good time tonight, and I got stuff to do tomorrow. Should be writing their marketing copy, right? All this sciencey stuff they do, that's all you really need to know. No Jill, Rob's leaving. Rob's out. Rob's just here for the Jill. I do have some Bombergs back there. I had a chance, what is it, the PFG or whatever they've got out now, is I had a chance to grab one, and I didn't know what it was, and I walked right by it. But it said French oak, and I'm not a big French oak fan, so. Lots of things to try. So, first timer from Wisconsin. Nice, Patrick. Thanks for joining. Y'all let me know what y'all are sipping on. I'm going to start tonight with some male whiskey. No female whiskey in the house. And, of course, I'm talking about MAIL. Look, got my specs on right here. These showed up literally today. I think they were in the P.O. box. They might have been sitting there for a couple of days. But a couple of Traverse City bottles right here showed up to the house. Got a nice note here from Adam Dustin. Adam Dustin's a travel nurse up in that area and sent us these bottles. Now, I did put my specs on these a little earlier, and they both are distilled in Indiana. So we know what that means, but could be pretty good. This is a barrel-proof straight bourbon whiskey at 56.3% alcohol. And this one is a straight wheat whiskey at 57.5. Really interested in trying that one for sure. Cheers, Tim. Man, we got a lot going on. It's busy around here. Busy around here. Can't wait to see you in Canton. That's going to be a good time for sure. Traverse City has some good barrels. Well, let's start. I'm excited about that one, wheat whiskey. A lot of wheat whiskey out. Been enjoying a lot of the wheat whiskeys. And so I'm going to start with this one to warm up for that one. Coors Banquets Matt's having. Nothing wrong with that. That's what I did go to Talladega this weekend for Saturday. Couldn't make it for Sunday. I might have went through a few Coors Lights myself while I was there. And by might, meaning I did. When am I in Michigan again? Not sure. Traverse. Sorry, Tim. Traverse City? Traverse. He said something in there about pronunciation. And maybe that's what he meant, but I must have misread it. Cletus of Brewzle Club. Would be. I didn't get a chance. He was pretty tied up Saturday because he was racing, so I wasn't able to get an introduction. But I love one of the few channels I actually watch most of their stuff. Sooner or later, I'm sure we'll get to Canada, eh? The A is short, as in fan. Traverse City? Is that what you're trying to say? Traverse City? Not Traverse City, Traverse City? Is that the right way? Don't know. Traverse. Isn't that what I said? No, I said Traverse. So it's Traverse. Okay, gotcha. All right. Man, look at me enunciating and stuff like a scholar. $250 for Jack 14. Yeah, that's not a terrible deal. I mean, that's an expensive bottle. I don't know what MSRP is on a JD 14, but I would gladly give you your $250 back plus a little markup for your troubles. Oh, that is a good barrel. Wow, okay. That's a little different. I wonder what mash bill that is. That's a little different than any of the MGP stuff I'm aware of, flavor-wise. I don't see anything here that gives the mash bill on it. There's a bunch of words. I'm not reading them. That's actually really good. The nose is kind of, not a lot going on there. It's just good caramel, graham cracker. Overheads came. Oh, super chat. I was like, what in the world's going on? Sipping on Eagle Rare. My buddy got me as a gift for being his groomsman. Nice. That's an excellent bottle. Nothing wrong with a good old Eagle Rare. Oh, Eagle Rare is a great gifting bourbon. Really, really easy to gift. Nobody's going to be upset. If you're like super into whiskey and you got 1,000 bottles, you're not upset by getting an Eagle Rare. And if you're brand new, just getting started, you're going to love an Eagle Rare. 110 a fair price on Blanton's Gold. Yes, I think that's MSRP-ish. And the palate's that. But it's sweet. Like, there's nothing really strongly flavored about that. It's just good drinking whiskey. Like, it is just sweet, caramel, I mean, just good. Like, there's no really strong flavors in any direction. It's just that classic quintessential bourbon. With a lot of MGP, the flavors come through a little more muddy for me. Like, they're all just kind of in there and it's hard to pick them out. This one, though, doesn't have, like, it's weird to describe. It's just kind of classic bourbon. Like, it is just dark brown sugar caramel. Really nice bottle, though. Like, that's really good. Might have to have some conversation. If they got this kind of MGP, first of all, I want to know what mash bill this is so I know what I'm looking for. Second, we're going to have to get some more of that. Absolutely. Behind on Super Chats already. Thoughts on Oregon's Cask Stout Westward U.S. Malt? Well, I mean, I think Oregon Cask Stout, I don't think is that the one we have over here from Westward, the Milestone? If it's the Milestone, I really like that. If it's not the Milestone, Andrew, don't know anything about it, unfortunately. Gilberto, keep doing what you do. It's awesome. Thank you, Gilberto. I said those bourbons traverse like the name Travis. Traverse. I will say it wrong every time I say it, probably. But thank you, yes. And he did say the Bourbon Historian on YouTube there. So that checks out. That is definitely him. Ben, thank you for sending these. That's a really good bottle. I like getting whiskey in the mail. I like getting good whiskey in the mail even more. This thing's like stuck to my hand. John Wolfley. What note would you call the bitter finish on JD12? I don't get a bitter finish on JD12. It's finishes with a little bit of oak, and I'm wondering if that oak is coming across bitter to you. I just used the same Glen, didn't I? Oh, well. Oh, well. Thoughts on Jack Daniel's Bonded? Pretty good. I like it as a mixer because it just adds a little extra proof. I think it's overall pretty good whiskey. It's probably not to that level where I really want to be drinking it neat. It's still a mixer to me, but a good whiskey. All right, so this got a little more wheated funkiness on it, which you expect from a wheated bourbon. Little cinnamon note on that. It's kind of interesting. Sweet, little cinnamon note coming through on it. It's like wheated funk, and it comes across like a light kind of watered down cinnamon peppermint. Really interesting. Not as good to me as the bourbon was, but still good. Like, that's still good whiskey. It's just, I don't know if I would go back to this one as much as I would go back to that bourbon. So still 2 really good bottles. Thank you for sending those, Bourbon Historian. I was going to do something on the stream and I decided not to because I think it might make a lot of noise. At least a low hum in the background throughout the whole stream. Will bought a new slushy machine for the mix channel that just showed up. And I was going to put some Dr. Pepper and Jim Beam Red Stag in there and see if we had a slushy by the end of the stream. But I don't want the low hum for the whole stream. Ordered a Frey Ranch 100% wheat. Nice. Now there's Frey Ranch 100% wheat, and then there's the Funfetti 100% wheats, which are the same thing. But the Funfettis are single barrels that they only release at their distillery or online. If you get one of those Funfettis, man, that is a wild, wild ride. So be on the lookout for that. Will's write-off. Yeah, writing off my money. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Next up, I've got some barrel picks. We are about to have another Brewzle release, or another bourbon release for the Brewzle Club, for patrons and supporters. And so I've got all of the bottles in this release on the bar here. Now we're going to have a tasting video coming out Wednesday. I'm not going to drink all of these because this is a big release and it is 10 different bottles and I'm not going through every one of those. So we're going to go through a few, with the first one being the OB1 release. Carl, appreciate the super chat. No message in there. If you missed it, just try to tag me over here and I'll try to see the message. You don't have to super chat again, but I appreciate the support. OBSO and Has Not, J-Rock wants me to try. We are definitely gonna, I've got the OBSO right here. We're gonna break out in a second. The Has Not's over there. And honestly, the Has Not, the Woodford blend, turned out a lot better than I anticipated it would be. Actually was. When they watered it down, I thought they're gonna kill it. It's actually pretty good whiskey. Any Wild Turkey 101 8-year? Yes. Been drinking on those fairly regularly. So we do have some of those. Wild Turkey sent us a bottle, but not before I went and bought a couple of them. So thank you, Wild Turkey. I do appreciate it. I just wanted it a little sooner and I saw it in stores. OD, we're definitely going to try the Rolling Fork. I don't know if we're going to try all, y'all, everybody's calling out 2, and between those 2, we're going to cover all of them. But stick around long enough. Who knows? We're liable to try. You know me. I'm just going to keep trying whiskey until we run out of time. Philip likes that turkey video. That turkey video should drop to the rest of the world tomorrow. I think it turned out really good. I'm really proud of that video. Making sure that we try to capture what the real story is there, and the 8 years not the story. The 8 years just the reason we're there, right? Somebody asked, how does the pre-alcohol drink taste? I mean, does it taste bad? Doesn't have a lot of taste to it. Goes down really, really easy. Got 2 30 packs of Bud Light. All right, dear, you are good. That'll last you at least, what, an hour or 2? All right, so this is Oak Bowery 1. This is our first release that we blended. Me and J-Rock in the chat there blended this and had this at our festival that we had last October. We have finally gotten those into Texas, and they will be in this drop. Now, they're going to be $100 a bottle, which is, more than I wanted this release to cost, but that's what it took. Like, that's not making any money on it. That's just trying to recoup our cost that went back into it. So let's talk about this a little bit. We wanted to do, and I've got a video coming out on this as well. We wanted to do something with a lot of the craft brands that we've supported on the channel and bring in a lot of their whiskey and blend it together and put that out there. It's just a unique expression between a bunch of different craft whiskey brands. The problem is those craft whiskey brands don't know how to sell wholesale, and they wanted me to buy a barrel retail, transfer it, blend it, and then this would have been a $300 and something bottle of whiskey. And so we worked with Old Dominic. We're able to get some barrels at a more reasonable price. Blended 3 high rye, 3 low rye Old Dominic barrels. And then we put in a couple of those wheat state barrels that we got out of Kansas to add a little red fruit, a little bit of maltiness, and, you know, kind of some of that dark kind of chocolate maltiness, and a little bit of an oaky undertone to it. And when I first opened it, when I first popped this bottle, it wasn't quite what I was going for. But after it sits here and mellows for a while, it's mighty, mighty close to our blend. So I was a little disappointed when we first popped that bottle open. But once you let it sit, once you let it get a little oxygen on it, it comes around to pretty close to what we were experiencing when we were blending this thing. And it's got a little bit of a harshness to that soft oak, just subtle. Other than that little bit of harshness from that oak, I think it's gotten fantastic. Sweet, red fruit, a little bit of that chocolate malt, and I think a little bit of that harshness might be the malt. You kind of get a little drying effect from the chocolate malt. Overall, I think it's good whiskey. I don't know if it probably shouldn't cost $100 based on the ingredients that went into it, if I'm just being honest, but that's what it cost me to make it. So that's what it's going to cost to buy it. It's also a blend we'll never do again. This is a first time release. So if you like something with a little heavier malt, a little bit of those chocolate malt notes, a little bit of kind of a drying oak undertone to it, and a little bit of red fruit up front, I think you're going to like that bottle. But again, I think a couple of drops of water or letting it kind of air out, you know, drinking a little bit, letting it sit for a while, coming back to it, you're probably going to like it a lot better. The flavors just get a lot more well-rounded. John Wolfley asked about the JD14, not the 12. Yeah. I don't think there's a bitter finish on the 14. I'll try it again, but I don't think there's a bitter finish on it, at least not to my palate last time I tried it. But I'll get it down right now. We'll give it a try. Knob Hunter, new to my town. At the first store told me he had nothing, but after having a good conversation with the owner, he magically had an EHT and an Eagle Raider. Huh, who would have thunk it? You go in there, you show you're not a flipper or an asshole, and you end up with good whiskey. It's amazing how that works. You know, it's like magic. It's magical. Let me get that Jack 14 if Jill hasn't drank all of it. Like every time Jill comes down here, I'll hear her coming down the stairs, and I'm like, yep, it's about to happen. And it does. She comes in here, she's like, where's the Jack 14? And that's all she's been drinking lately. And you can see what my bottle's gotten down to. Like, I'm going to have to find another one because Jill's 100% in love with this thing, and she keeps coming back to sample it. How much is too much for a Jack 14? I mean, I like to try to... I kind of like the challenge of just trying to find things at MSRP-ish. I'd pay $400 for one of those in a heartbeat, and I know they're going for a whole lot more than that. I wouldn't pay $400 for 2 of them. But for one more backup just to have, I would. It's worth that to me. Will we see a JT Mellick pick anytime soon? We tried to do one last year, and they told us we were going to get one, then they told us they didn't have enough barrels. And their expanded distribution, I don't think we've talked to them this year, but from what I understand, like they're still really short on barrels because they're a lot more popular than they anticipated. Man, that is just bright vanilla, red fruit, soft oak undertones. I think I see what you're getting and what you call bitter finish. To me, I see what you're saying. It's just oak. Like, that's just a dry oak impact, right? That's like barrel char from where this thing got an awful lot of heat. That's how it gets up to that proof point. This sat somewhere where it got a lot of heat and it got a lot of barrel impact. I actually kind of like it on this when you get all that like vanilla red fruit, a little banana coming through, and then you've got that kind of oaky undertone with a little bit of a drying experience. I just dig it. I don't know. Maybe I'm a glutton for punishment, but I kind of like it. I more than kind of like it. Let's not get crazy. I freaking love it. Need to have a Brewzle bottle share. Yes, we do. Absolutely. I don't know when or where. We have to be safe with that. You know, it's just one of those where we have to make sure everybody's in an environment where they're safe, because if I have a bottle share somewhere and somebody shows up and there's always that one guy that takes it too far, does something dumb, then we're kind of liable for that, for, you know, having promoted it, whether it's our event or not. And so that it just makes it a little harder to make sure we're setting up an environment where everybody can be safe, and we don't have that one person that just goes to the bottle share, gets hammered, and then tries to get in a car or something, right? We need to have one at a hotel somewhere, I guess, and you have to have a room to participate. That's really the only way to do it. What's a good price on an A Bowman cask strength? Again, I'm not the end-all be-all of prices. I don't keep up with secondary prices a whole lot. That A Bowman cask strength is fantastic. Couple hundred, $250 probably would be a decent price on one of those, but I have no idea what they go for. It's that good though. Love JD12, but wish I had a 107 shelter, like single barrel proof. Okay, hold on. I love JD12, but I wish JD had a 107 shelfer, I assume, like a single barrel proof down to 107. Yeah, I think if they had a little bit older product than normal Jack Daniels at 107 proof, but they have the 10-year. Like, that's kind of what the 10-year is supposed to be, and it's, what, 90-something proof, I guess. So I guess that's not a great idea there. Yes, an 8-year, 7-year, 8-year, 107 proof Jack Daniels would actually be a hit, big hit. I don't know if they're going to do it, but would be a big hit. Mr. RWS, congratulations on the distillery. I can't wait to take this journey with you guys. You should check out ISO quality standards. Somebody's going to have to like text that to me or something. I will check it out. I don't know what it is, but always looking for better quality. I'm Batman is out of videos to watch. Digging the content. I appreciate it. We've got the mixed drink channel too. We're doing with Will. Be sure to hop over there and check that out. You've got a few more videos to do. I would like to do more content. We would like to put out, you know, maybe some non-alcoholic content. Y'all let me know in the chat. Would you watch non-alcoholic content? And I don't mean me drinking stuff that's non-alcoholic. I mean me just doing other things. Doing some car things, some different stuff, just hanging out, having a good time. Going and having fun, doing stuff that doesn't require drinking. I don't have time to do it right now, but someday soon, hopefully. Dustin, sorry I missed the Spillway event, but hope you liked the Richard Petty Rye. Yes, it made the video. I just tried it. It was actually really good. It'll be in all the bottles I got in April. Just filmed that one, and that bottle was in it. So it's good stuff. Playing a first-person shooter. How's the Lincoln? Lincoln's doing great. Doing push-ups? I need to do some push-ups. I don't think I'm going to film that, though. I don't think anybody wants to watch me exercise. I need to be exercising, but no to putting that out there for other people to watch. Gas station chicken reviews. Travel stuff, just travel around doing gas station chicken reviews. This right here is a Four Roses pick that has surprised me. When we were there that day doing this pick, this one really stood out. And if I remember correctly, it didn't stand out to everybody. There were, you know, quite a few varied opinions on it. This one was quite a bit different than any pick I had done. I'm usually an OESV guy, and this is an OBSO. I liked it that day. I thought it stood out, but I didn't really remember what it tasted like. You don't usually leave with a sample bottle from Four Roses. So I hadn't had it since then, and it's been a while. So I popped this sucker open, and it's got a 9 out of 10 nose. Like, it is just red fruit, soft oakiness. Like, it is just a beautiful, beautiful bouquet. And it delivers all of that. Now, it's subtle. This is not an in-your-face, over-the-top strong whiskey. This is more for savoring, even though it is, 56.6% alcohol? So what's it, 113.2 proof or something like that? So it's got some proof to it, but man, is that just delicate and soft red fruit. It's like a bright red. It kind of goes from like almost a Luxardo cherry, like a really dark red fruit. And then on the finish, it kind of brightens into almost like a red, one of those bright red cocktail cherries. So like a dark red fruit into a lighter red fruit with a soft oakiness all the way through. One of the more interesting Four Roses bottles I've had. And if somebody had given me that and told me that was one of their special releases, I would believe it, because it's just soft and subtle and delicate and beautiful for a single barrel. You don't normally get that. At least I don't normally get that in a Four Roses single barrel. And I think with all the Four Roses single barrels I've got, which is, I don't know, 4 or 5, 6 of them up there, this one definitely stands out as different amongst all of those. Have you tried Copper Run out of Missouri? I have not tried Copper Run out of Missouri, Landon. Try it. Let me know if it's any good and if we should grab it. Or if I see one, I'll pick it up. Are you training tonight for ADHD Whiskey Madness? No, I'm just going to go in hot. We are not going to do a whole lot of training. I'm probably going to get obliterated, if I'm just being honest. But such is life. Such is life. Derek says, I'm one of the reasons him and a buddy started a monthly bourbon night with their neighbors in Beulah. Good old Beulah, Alabama, I assume. Appreciate it, Derek. And keep up the bourbon night. That's what it's all about, man. Sharing it with other folks. You don't have to buy as much whiskey if you got other people also buying whiskey. And then you find all the good stuff, right? What do you think of Buckner's 10, 15, and 7-year? Which do you prefer? George, I have not had all of the Buckners. I did try a 10, and I thought it was really good, but I have not had a 15 and 17-year. I am sorry. Knowing me, though, probably that 15. Like 15 is where like it gets about the right amount of oak, but it really depends on how those barrels have been treated. So I'm sorry, I don't have the answer for you. Will allocateds be available like were before? Boom. Will allocateds be available like, so we put that video out. At some point, they'll be out like before the pandemic, they'll be available. But even before the pandemic, you couldn't just walk into any store and get them, right? I mean, they're allocated for a reason. You'll see some things come off the allocated list. You'll probably be able to go into a store and get a Blanton's, maybe, or an Eagle Rare, or definitely a Buffalo Trace. But you're not going to walk in there and see a Van Winkle sitting on the shelf at MSRP. That was well before the boom started, right? Like the boom really started 12 years ago or so. So no, you're not going to see it like before that, but you may see it like before the pandemic where it really went nuts. Should see it, but it's going to take a few years to catch up. Mr. RWS, ISO 9001 quality standard is a method to maintain and improve upon product quality. It makes the process easy to follow and maintain. Beautiful. I need all of that I can get. Right now, we are just trying to get the building together. Construction or destruction of the building started last week, and all the walls are gone. The inside ceiling stuff is gone, the drop ceiling, like it is pretty much cleaned out. There's still some stucco that had been put on the inside that was behind the drywall that's got to come down, and we've got to get a roof on it. So those are the next steps. Windows are starting to be restored. We've got to get some new ones for the front, but overall, making good progress on it. Big allocation season happens toward the end of the year. With tariffs and other countries not buying as much, do you think prices might be lower and find more this year in America? I mean, you might, but it's probably not going to be enough to have a big impact. Is it a grandpa, papa, granddad, grandpa? You talking about me? It is Papa T, but I did not pick that. Jill has picked that name for me. And it is not the first grandchild, no. Oh my God. That Old Forester is, the Four Roses is soft and subtle and delicate. And this is much more in your face. I've given both the Old Forester and the Four Roses to a couple of people that have come over. Both of them were raving about this Old Forester. So I don't know what to do about that, because I'm in love with both of them, but man, I really like that Four Roses. This one is just, you know, kind of caramel up front, brown sugar, and then it dissipates into those nice little bursts of fruity flavor on the finish that Old Forester gives you. This one is 135.5 proof, I think, not 0.9, 135.9. Why couldn't they just round that up for us, you know, get us to 136? But also another really good pick that's going to be in this drop. So the OB1s, the Four Roses, and this are all picks that are going to be in the upcoming Brewzle drop here pretty soon. What are some caramelist bourbons under $80? Lots of times I'll get a lot of caramel on some Larceny stuff. I would say to definitely try that. Woodford Double Oaked is kind of vanilla, so it's like a really sweet caramel. You might want to try that one as well. I'm trying to think. There's been a few I've had, and I was like, dude, that is just caramel for days. But I can't remember what they were. I think that would be two to definitely try. I'm trying to think of stuff you could actually find. But those would be two good ones to start with. Don't hear you mention Kentucky Owl much. What's going on with them? Do they do barrel picks? So Kentucky Owl right now is actually in bankruptcy. And I'm not sure if that brand is going to, if they're, you know, I don't know if they're going to get it straight, if they're going to continue or not. I have no inside information there. But I know they're having some trouble. Their parent company's having some trouble. They were bought, and I want to say it was Dixon Deadman was a Kentucky Owl, I think. Somebody was. I think it was him. And so the Kentucky Owl, like their high-end stuff up to batch 9, is very highly regarded for the blending that he was doing there. And then after that, people really quit talking about them and seeking them out. I've not been a huge fan of most of their stuff that I've had outside of their high-end product. And then that's like a $300 bottle. I have a batch 12 Kentucky Owl that I love it. Like, that's a fantastic bottle. But I bought it for $115. It was on clearance at a store, and I was able to pick up one and a backup. And at $115, it's out of this world good. At $300, it's like, really? You know? So Kentucky Owl has good stuff, but I'm not sure they're going to make it. All right. Pursuit Double Oaked, Randy sipping. How did your Ben Holiday pick go? I mean, that was a while back. We just released the video because we're just about to get those bottles. So there's a good chance we're going to have a lot of Ben Holiday. Not in this release that's about to happen, but the next one, we hope. We got a lot of barrel picks incoming finally. We've been trying to get ahead. They're finally starting to come in. And so, you know, the hope is that we've got a lot to choose from to build these releases in the future. If I send you a bottle of Black Fork Farms from South Dakota, 30 miles from where I live, would you try it on live night and give it a review? Yes, absolutely. And then I'll try it again in every bottle I got in that particular month. But yes, send it, we will give it a try. Now, ask me if I don't, if a particular stream you jump on here and it looks like I've got it, ask me and I'll get it down, but you know, in case I forget. But yeah, 100%. When will the old Zach drop, Eric says? Not in this next release. We don't have them yet, but our hope is that we have them soon, and then we can make a determination. Like, it's hard to say until we have them, right? But I think they may be bottled. I think I heard some of our stuff was bottled with them. So, don't know. But like I said, a video come out Wednesday to the patron, to supporters, that kind of goes over all of these and gives my tasting notes and thoughts on them. I just thought it'd be fun to go back through some of them here now that they're open and they've been sitting for a few days. Thoughts on Basil Hayden 10. It's okay. I'm not the biggest fan of Basil Hayden in general. I would prefer a Booker's or a Baker's or something like that if I'm going to go Jim Beam. I think Basil Hayden is typically old already, and so why pay extra for like another year or so on it? Overall, it's fine whiskey if you like it. It's just not something I'm seeking out, and I have a Basil Hayden. I don't have a Basil Hayden 10. How do you join the Brewzle Club and have an opportunity to receive the barrel picks? Join our patron.com/Brewzle. And depending on the tier you're in, you will find out, the different tiers have different access and things. So just join the patron. This right here is a rum that will be in this drop. This is Rolling Fork 6-year Trinidad rum. Now, some of these, we're going to have several. We might as well go through all 10 at this point, even though we got a video coming. The last rum we got from Rolling Fork was a huge hit. My only mistake with that rum is that I did not keep a case of them for myself. I had a case of them sent here, and then we gave them all away for people that just absolutely wanted another bottle. This one is different. Like, that one was a very light rum finished in Weller barrels. It was a 6-year Venezuelan rum, and it was beautiful. Now, we've got some whiskeys coming that I think they're going to be a little different, but they're going to be more on that light rum profile. This one I would consider like a medium rum, and by that I mean, and I'm not necessarily talking about color, although color does sometimes follow that. This one has, a light rum doesn't have a lot of those kind of molasses flavors, those dark, sugars. A dark rum has a lot of those, and a medium rum has some. So this one's going to have a lot more of those kind of molasses flavors, like right on the nose. You get kind of some scorched sugar, molasses, and an interesting rye spice. This one is finished in a rye whiskey barrel. And again, scorched sugars, molasses, and then it dissipates into a nice rye spice. So you've got to like those like dark sugar molasses notes, because they're definitely here. And if you don't like those, you're probably not going to like it. But if you do like them, you're going to absolutely love this rum. And it's not, I don't love them. But I like them enough to where I really like this rum. Any heavier than this, I probably wouldn't like them. It's a kind of that perfect level to where they're there, but they're not overwhelming for my palate. So if you like a kind of a mid to dark rum, this one is absolutely beautiful. I like rum finished in rye whiskey barrels, and I like rye finished in rum barrels. I should have asked for the rye barrel to be sent so we could do some experiments with it. That's what I should have done. Didn't think about that. But Rolling Fork puts out some fantastic stuff, and this is just another banger rum that we've got from them. Let's see. Four Roses single barrel, OESK or OESO. See, if you would have asked me that before I got this I got an OBSO here. I would have said OESV is my jam, right? And all the rest of them are just kind of equal after OESV. But this one being the low, I think the B mash bill, I'm kind of digging that. You're talking about like still the high rye mash bill with OESK and OESO. If you're barrel strength, I don't know. If you're talking about the new ones they've put out that has it on the label, I'm assuming that's what you're talking about. I'm not a big fan of either. I don't know. They just proof down. They're all just okay. They're not great. They're okay. Like I am almost like Four Roses barrel strength single barrel or nothing. I'll have like a small batch select or something at the beach, right? That's my beach whiskey because I can buy that at just about any liquor store. But I'm going to be mixing it, or I might have a few neat pours, but a lot of people are going to be mixing it. So really for Four Roses, for me, my go-to are the barrel strength single barrels and the limited releases. Anything other than that, I don't usually pick it up. Rolling Fork is a Starlight brand. So I don't think so, Chris. Yes and no. They're not owned by Starlight, to my knowledge, but they do house their barrels at Starlight. So they're there, so you can pick them when you go. Like the first ones we got were through Starlight. We went to Starlight. They let us try the rum barrel. We loved it, and we bought it through them. But the folks from Rolling Fork are different folks. They just house their barrels there at Starlight. Philip, my first video I ever watched was your Dettling one. I bought a cask strength and loved the chocolate malt note. Will you be doing another pick? Yes, we have done it. We had a couple of barrels from him that both have been released. We'll be doing another pick, but it'll probably be next year before we have it, before we do the pick and have it. He, you know, for better or worse, we shot our own selves in the foot there, I guess. He has become very busy, and he's got a lot of single barrels booked, and we couldn't make the calendar until next year. So we'll work on that. He is coming to the festival. He's not going to be pouring whiskey, but he will be there, and I think Seth's going to get him on a panel or do some talking, some questions. And be sure, if you want to join us, our festival is September 20th. Tickets are for sale right now as we speak. Somebody, one of the mods, if they've got it, drop the link to the festival if anybody wants tickets for that. VIP tickets are selling out pretty quick, so you might want to jump on those before those are gone. Sipping on Baker's Mark Heart Release tonight, Dustin said. Nice, that's a good one. I like the Heart Release. I like the Heart Release this year better than I did the Cellar Aged, believe it or not. Jibbers in the chats. Majorly blurry. I'm blurry? I don't look blurry. Dettling is fire. So here, if you like Dettling and you can't find Dettling, or if you just want to try something different, I really want, let me know this. If y'all are, if you've had both of these whiskeys, I'm about to give you the second one. I want to know your thoughts on it if you really like Dettling. I just filmed this video. It hasn't come out yet, but I want the folks who love Dettling, because what Dettling does is he roasts his malt, and he uses his malt as a flavoring grain, and he goes for like heavy chocolate, coffee notes on his whiskey. Also, though, Leaper's Fork toasts their malt and uses it as a flavoring grain. Now, they go for more like red fruit. You do get a little bit of kind of those chocolate notes in there. It's much more subtle than Dettling, though. I tend to like the Leaper's Fork flavor profile a little more because I just don't like those kind of coffee ground notes, unless it's the Dettling rye. The rye is really good. It holds up to those coffee ground notes to me. But you need to find like a single barrel proof Leaper's Fork. And I don't know if Leaper's Fork has a regular release product that's cask strength. But if you're going to compare it to Dettling, I feel like you need to have it at cask strength. So if you've had both a cask strength Leaper's Fork and a Dettling, I want to know your thoughts in the comments. There's so many markets who won't ever see Dettling. True, and honestly, there's a lot of markets that used to have Dettling that won't see it now. Like, he is almost only releasing single barrels as far as I know. Some cheap Crown Special Reserve. Nothing wrong with that, man. Enjoy it. That is good. You can still hang out here. You can still come to a bottle share. You can still bring your Crown Reserve. We'll drink it. Be good stuff. So the Brewzle Woodford pick, Running Man, are you talking about the pick we're about to release? That's going to be different than a double oaked. Or are you talking about the double oaked compared to our Brewzle double oak pick that has been released? We've got 2 more double oak picks coming that are going to be released at some point in the future. Yeah, I'd definitely consider coming to Los Angeles at some point. I'm a little blurry to Eric, but it's his fault, not mine. Okay, I look sharp as a tack over there on my screen. Now I'm looking at the output. Just make sure you're not toggled down into like a lower quality or something. People are putting fish in whiskey? What are you talking about? Waiting for 13th Colony to appear in California. We're actually at 13th Colony next week doing another pick for the Brewzle Club. Don't know when that one will be available, but sometime or another it will. Love you too, FSFB. Thank you for joining. Thoughts on Orphan Barrel Famed Pursuit? Haven't had it, Rizzle. I don't buy a lot of Orphan Barrel stuff. It's pricey whiskey. And I just have to know, like, I buy so many, like, my goal is to find a small producer that's making their own or sourcing unique barrels like this that I can't even pronounce now. Y'all got me all self-conscious about Traverse wasn't right. Traverse whiskey? I don't know. This thing right here, this MGP, it's fantastic. I'm happy to find that. I'm sorry that I didn't pick it up before. That's good stuff. But like I'm interested in that more so than some other high dollar limited release. And so I would rather spend $300 on 4 or 5 really nice bottles from a small brand than spend that on one big fancy bottle that I also may or may not like. If this is the best day of your life, it's only going to get better from here there, FSFB. We be going back to Still Austin for a true Brewzle barrel pick, cask strength rye. Do you want one? We were out there. We were supposed to pick a rye, and they had to cancel on me last minute. So I get to Austin usually once or twice a year anyway. And every time I go, I mean, I'll hit them up next time I get out there and see if we can get it. Traverse. That's what it's Traverse. I mean, that's what I say it, isn't it? Traverse. It's not Traverse. It's Traverse. I'm putting the wrong emphasis on the wrong syllable. Old Fitz decanter worth $250 or stick to SRP? It depends on the year, Josh. It depends on how old it is. So like a 13-year? Yeah, dude, that's fantastic. I love that bottle. I'd pay $250 for another one. But it depends on how old they're. If they're like an 8, no, probably not. The new 7s are supposed to be dropping pretty soon, which are not the normal decanters. It's it's supposed to be something I think they're trying to, it's going to be allocated at first, but they're trying to like get it on the shelf. I'm really looking forward to trying one of those. Jake, those Jack Daniel's single barrel proofs just keep hitting the spot. The peanut note dissipated and it turned into dusty banana. Such good value. Wish you good luck on the distillery. Thank you. I've actually got a Jack Daniel's single barrel proof that's going to be in this release I'm going to get to here in just a minute. Pav's Creamery with the super chat. Didn't leave a message. Thank you for your support, though. If you meant to leave a message, just try to tag @Brewzle over there, and I'll see if I can catch it. Any plans on a Jimmy Red pick? I don't have any plans on it, but I really like it, so we should do one. Team, add it to the list. If anybody's listening, add that to the list, because that's a good one. What's a better bread, sourdough or the other one's not a bread? Snoop, trying to catch me. Man, you ain't catching me. I ain't Martha Stewart, Snoop. What's that Woodford you have here? This right here is the Brewzle Has Not pick. So this is our single barrel that's going to be in the drop that's coming up. I'm going to grab some fresh Glencairns. We're going to try this sucker right here. Somebody was asking me about Woodford picks, and I assume they're talking about the Brewzle Double Oak pick. And honestly, I think the Brewzle Double Oak pick, the one that we already released, is probably about as good as a Woodford Double Oak. It's about as good. This one was 142 proof, and another one that was less than that. They blended it, and then they proofed it way down, and they put it in a 1 liter bottle, so you get a lot of it. What proof is this thing? .7% alcohol, 90.4. Like that's an oddly specific proof to try to proof down to, but there it is at 90.4 proof. Never thought I'd have a 90.4 proof single barrel pick, but technically not a single barrel. So I guess I'm still Still riding that train, baby. That's a blend. It's actually really nice. So Woodford is not something I would say is red fruit forward, and I like red. Like, it's my favorite flavor note. And that right there is just beautiful, beautiful, bright red fruit. Bright red fruit and caramel. And that's what it delivers. It's stronger on the nose than it is on the palate. But that is probably, now, I gotta caveat this a little bit. I have not drank a lot of Woodford Reserve that is not double oaked or high proof. Okay, I haven't drank a lot of it. And out of the little bit I've drank, that's the best bottle I've ever had. Now, that's not saying a lot. If you've only tried 2 or 3, then it's easy to be the best one. But that is by far the best one I've ever had. And that's good enough to where I want to try more Woodford. And I just wish, though, it's so good, I just wish they would have left it at least above 100 proof points. That's all. What bottles will be available for purchase at the event, or is it tastings only? If you're talking about the Brewzle Festival, our hope is to have a bottle there. We will see what those bottles are. Last year, we had the OB1 at the event that you could purchase. We don't know yet. It depends on a lot of different things, unfortunately. Like, do we have our license? Can we... there will be a bottle there. There will be a bottle there for you to buy, okay? We're getting a bunch of samples sent from Old Dominic right now on some really high-proof Tennessee whiskey, like near hazmat, not quite, but near hazmat, low rye bourbon from them. Might be some of those. If we get our license by then, we might source something in and bottle it for the festival. I don't know. We've still got to figure it out, but there will be some bottles. The problem is we can't have too many, because if we don't sell them, it's under the license for the festival. If we don't sell those bottles, we have nothing to do with them but bring them here and drink them. Like, we can't sell them next year. We can't send them back. We can't do anything with them. It's just like, hey, you didn't sell them. They're yours now, right? So, be at the Brewzle Festival, are we allowed to drink? Jesus Christ, if you come to the Brewzle Festival and you don't drink, something's wrong with you. There's going to be at least, I think we're going to have a minimum of like 12, 13 distilleries there, and we're working on some things to get, because to pour out front, you have to be sold in the state of Alabama, and we have a lot of distilleries reaching out that are not sold in the state of Alabama, and so we are working on a way to get them in. If we can crack that nut, there may be up to 25 distilleries there. Pushing 20 for sure, I would think. So, let's see. Daniel, alrighty, the desert island question. If you had 3 bottles for the rest of your days, what would your 3 bottles be? I'm taking William LaRue for sure. That one's there. Right now, Jack 14 would probably make that Mount Rushmore of bottles that I'd absolutely have to take. After that, like, what are you taking? Let's just assume that it's the same bottle every time. So if you finish it, another one appears just like it. And so 2020 William LaRue. Dude, there's so many for that third, though. Like, that 16-year Four Roses Father's Day pick that I've got is out of this world good. Some of these Willet Purple Tops, that Heaven Hill 18 I absolutely love. The VVS Old Fitz. Dude, I don't know. I would probably have to just put them in a bag and draw 3 out to come out of that one. But William LaRue for sure. And then those other 2 would probably be a drawing out of those other ones that I said. I don't know if it would be all high proofers though. But you know me, right? Richard Nixon, grant you a pardon. We just can't hand them out. Well, I appreciate it, Richard. You might want to pardon yourself first, though, okay? Make sure you're okay. Brewzle needs to have more good times picks. Jesus Christ, man. We got to be. Is Tim in here? Tim B in here? Where's he at? Oh, Jack 14 over King. See, I didn't even think of King. Eric. Oh, I don't know. Ugh. That would be a fun blind. I can't blind them. But what I can do is try them both and give you my thoughts. And I'm about to do that here in just a second. Have you tried any of the Bullet single barrels? I don't think I own a Bullet single barrel. No, cellar door. I've had some Bullet. I've liked it now. I probably need to pick up more single barrels. Tim, rest Tim right there. All 3 Good Times barrels were bottled and on a pallet shipped 3 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, along with your empty buff turkey barrel. Nice. I think the turkey barrel was coming here and those bottles going out there. But like, Tim, let me know. You tell me. We got to be like the #1 account for Good Times at this point. We got to be pushing it, right? Like we've gone through some freaking Good Times barrels. I don't know if we need more Good Times. We got 2 more coming, custom. Our crowd loves Good Times though. That's for sure. And it's good. It's because it's freaking good. It's different. It's different than anything else out there. Let me get the King down. I got the Jack 14. I'll go back and forth and I'll tell you whether or not I would put it. And it's this King. Every King's a little different, right? Tim will be there May 10th to pick some barrels. Tell it, are we the #1 account? Is that, dude, this King too. Jesus Christ. How did he get that low? Who's been drinking the King of Kentucky? Wasn't me. Man. And this thing that sucks is I got a backup bottle. I got another bottle of King, but a new friend, a little VIP friend, wanted it. So I allowed them to have it for what I paid for it, which was MSRP. And I like them. So I'm glad they have it. But pretty soon when this one's done, I'm going to wish I had it. That's where we're going to be. Now, the Jack's, both Brown-Forman. The Jack is obviously Jack Daniels. This, I'm pretty confident, is Old Forester. Seth Dettling will be at the festival, Rob. He will not be pouring, but he will be there. Let's see. I saw Evan Williams Green Label in your Columbus video, and I'm on the hunt in Florida. What's your feeling on Green Label whiskeys? All mixers. If you're talking like Evan Williams Green, isn't that like younger and lower proof? Isn't that like 80 proof, younger stuff? I think that's what it is. It's just the cheapest version of a whiskey, and I'm just not a fan. If you're mixing it, fine, but I'd still rather have a 90 proofer. All right. That's definitely unicorn status. I can see somebody earlier mentioned that kind of bitterness, which is there. I just take it as a little bit of harsh oak. It's not off-putting to me. I keep using that word. I know people probably, I don't know if that's my marzipan or not, but off-putting. It's not, it doesn't turn me off. It's not a better way of putting it. It's not something I find unpleasant. Is that a better way of putting it? It's not a note I'm looking for, but I don't find it unpleasant. And if you're going to be trying whiskeys this good, okay, this high-end, this nice, you really do need to rinse in between each one and make sure you reset your palate. And if you're going to be doing whiskeys this good, you better use a professional rinse, okay? Don't just pick up anything and ruin your taste buds. Use Dr. Pepper Zero. Dr. Pepper Zero, the mouth rinse of whiskey champions all over the world. Of course, I almost knocked a Glencairn off when I picked it up. And of course, that's a joke. Don't, like Dr. Pepper Zero is probably not a good thing to use. Love Eagle Rare 10 Hi-Fi. Love it. I got suspicion your Queen of Alabama has been drinking your King of... She may have. He said the Proof Queen may have been hitting that King right there. The Proof Queen's been dating the King behind my back. That one's more subtle. It's more complicated. Proof on this one is 120, 133 point something or another. I got to do math. That's not good. 133 point something or another. This one was 126. Yeah, if I'm going to pick one of those, it's going to be the King. That King is just so complicated. It's so complex. It's so beautiful. And the funny thing is the Old Forester single barrel strength we have is like the Dollar General version of that, right? Like it's good, it's complex like that. It has a very similar flavor profile to this King of Kentucky. It's just not as rich and intense as this, but on those same veins. So it's like the Wish version. Get that, Fredo, hit that Eagle Rare. MSRP on a Jack 14. Anybody know off the top of their head? In like 200, something like that? I haven't had a Green River wheated cask strength yet. I'm trying to get one. I want one. I need one. I need a single barrel Green River wheated. Don't have one. How does Russell Reserve 15 compare? Lord have mercy. I don't know. Let's try. Let's see how it compares. What do I know? I do know who drank all of this one, though, and that was me, along with a lot of other folks. I've been sharing that one with a lot of people. I'm okay sharing this one because I do have a backup bottle to replace this one when it's done. I do not have a backup King of Kentucky when that one's gone. So if anybody from Brown-Forman is watching this, like we're the only, I think at this point, I was told this by somebody that works in the Jack gift shop when I was at Jack Daniels. He's like, you're the only YouTube channel that says positive things about Old Number 7. So there's that. Not that you need me to sell Old Number 7, but, you know, maybe hook a brother up, you know, help me out. Okay, so this is going to be more red fruit. It's just not as like, this is really good whiskey. This is fantastic whiskey. It, to me, is just not, maybe I didn't have a big enough pour, but it's not as like complex as the King, for sure. It's a whole different flavor profile for sure as well. It's good, it just goes down a different direction, right? This one's a little softer, a little more approachable. The finish on this one lasts for days. It's just like a nice red fruit with a soft oaky vanilla all the way through. Like that's really good whiskey. It's just, to me, a much different experience than either of those other two. And I can see some folks maybe liking this one better than the Jack 14. I don't know about the King, but it's fantastic. It's just a different animal, right? You're comparing apples and oranges flavor profile wise. As far as enjoyability, it's up there. I don't think it's to the King level because the King is the King for a reason. For a lot of people, that would probably be as good as the Jack 14 for a lot of palates. I'm not saying that for me, but as far as like level of enjoyability, it's right there with it. Tim B says the clout plays. What Tim B say? We don't have a clout for a Green River single barrel. Oh, we did not. We did not. The funny thing is like they're like, we don't have any single barrels of the wheated. We did have the clout for 2 Green River picks though. We got 2 Green River non-wheaters coming, but they're like, we got a lot of Green River wheated single barrels you could just source to your distillery and bottle yourself. I was like, well, why don't you just let me try some of those and you bottle them for? It's not how it works, right? It's allocated to one program or another, unfortunately. Brian, I'm stumped. I want a good $100 double oaked, but I'm I'm torn between Peerless Double Oaked and Peerless Toasted Oak. Which should I go after? Is there another one that's even better at that price? I mean, Woodford Double Oaked is the OG God Double Oaked at like $60-ish. Peerless Double Oaked is usually going to be more expensive than that $100. If you find it at $100-ish, that's usually a really good price. I have not had the Toasted Oak, but Toasted in general is usually a much different experience than a Double Oaked. Double Oaked is going to give you more oak. Toasted is going to give you a different flavor profile, right? So if you want a Double Oaked, I think you should go with the Double Oaked, not the Toasted. Slushy, any plans to come to North Dakota anytime soon? Jill wanted to go out to Nebraska. She was like, we're planning our family vacation. We vacation with a few friends most years. We were going to go to Nebraska, and I was going to try to head up to North Dakota and bourbon hunt while we were there because I haven't bourbon hunted North Dakota. That all fell through when they ended up choosing Arkansas or something. They chose somewhere else. I don't even know where we're going. So Nebraska is going to have to hold and North Dakota. But yes, my goal is to hunt all 50 states by the end of next year. So sometime next year, probably won't be this year, just looking at how the calendar's stacking up. Sometime next year, I may just fly to North Dakota and hunt. I think hop on a plane, head down to Nebraska and hunt Omaha or something. I don't know. This was a Four Roses store pick if you're but I don't know. I'm assuming you're way behind unless you can see it on the screen still. So, all right. I'm continuing down my barrel pick line here. We got a Jack single barrel proof. This is Uncle Nate's pick. This was a moderator pick. And Uncle Nate, I got to get a fresh Glen because Uncle Nate did something weird here. Uncle Nate got something unusual. This is quite a bit different than most, if not all, of the other Jack Daniel's single barrel proof picks that I've had. It's a different profile. And so it's interesting in that regard. Now, most Jack Daniel's picks are going to be banana nut bread. That's really what you're going for with Jack Daniel's. You want that banana, you want a little nut, you want a little bit of the kind of oak impact on it. This one is different than that. Daniel says I've saved $1,000 in therapy, but I've happily spent at least $600 in my first month collecting bourbons. That seems cheaper than the therapy, right? So that's good. Did you see the latest Bourbon Hunter video from Firefly Distillery? I did not. I mean, we've been talking about Firefly. We bought a bottle over there last year, the live bottle from Firefly. They have a lot of good whiskey. I mean, it's owned by Sazerac. It's good whiskey. You do want the banana and the nut. You do. You do, Gavin. You do. Daniel P., I'm not live streaming commercials, but yeah, I mean, I didn't turn them off, so they may pop up sometimes. The Parker's Heritage 14 year, I think it's the single malt, which I'm not a fan of single malt, but I really like that one. That one was good. If I had a chance to buy a bottle at MSRP, I would have one for sure. So this Jack is there's a little bit of the nutty note that you get, that kind of peanut note, but it's really soft and subtle. The banana note is not there at all. And then on the palate, like it's a little dusty, it's a little nutty, and then you might get just a hint of banana on the finish. But it is much less that kind of banana nut bread and much more like a subtle, soft, oaky peanut butter. Really interesting. Just a different profile. Like all of these Jack Daniel's single barrel proof picks, anybody in the world does one of these. It's good whiskey. These usually are just great values as well. In that, I don't know exactly what these cost on our drop, but typically you see these, what, $70 to $80 or so. This one is 30 proof even. So 130 even there. And then the next tag says, because Uncle Nate said so. But a really, really nice selection here by Uncle Nate. Is this the JD? This is not the JD pick where we went there and did the pick. This is one of the distiller selection to where you kind of tell them a profile and then they send you a barrel that matches that profile. The one that we've done, that we went there and picked, that one, we're going to probably call that, I'm probably calling that the Leroy Hill bottle instead of the Coy Hill bottle, because we tried to go for as close to a Coy Hill flavor profile as we could. It's not Coy Hill, let's not get crazy, but it's leaning in that direction flavor-wise. It's definitely not to that level of unicorn status, but that one will be also a very different profile from most of the Jack, if maybe any of the Jack picks I've had. This one's just crazy how like dusty peanut butter it is. I like that. I'm going to keep that one around. I was going to take some, I'm starting to, well, I say that, I think Jill and her friends, when Jill has friends over, they like to have Jack and Cokes. And if they run out of old number 7, they start grabbing my single barrel proofs. And I was going to take a bunch of these and blind them and then dump the leftovers in my, or the losers in my infinity barrel. And I was about to say I'm going to keep this one around just because it's so different than the rest of them. But honestly, all my other ones might have got drank as Jack and Cokes. So I might have to keep it around because it might be the only one I have. Have you tried Heaven Hill Grain to Glass Wheated? Yes. To me, it is the best of the Grain to Glass series by far. It's the only one I would really want a second bottle of. And that's not to say the other ones are bad. The other ones are good. But that one's good to a level where it's like, that would be really nice to have around, right? When can we expect a Statesville event? I don't know if we've said, I don't even have the date on that. It's coming, I think June or July. We were trying to narrow it down June or July. I'm letting the team do that, but it should be, like I would expect late June, Seth says. So now, Statesville Contract Distilling, formerly Southern Distilling, is handling all of that. They're selling tickets to the event. That's all running through them. So make sure you're following them on social media. I'm sure we will announce it in Patron and maybe allow patrons to hopefully have a little early access to that event, but it's their event. It's not our event. So we don't really control that, fortunately or unfortunately. Now we are, talking to them about what we want to do and trying to make sure it's a bunch of fun stuff. Is it worth, I'm Batman, is what worth $100? Is the question. Which thing? Dude, I've tried like 50 bottles of whiskey since we started this stream. I was talking about this one last. I don't think that's $100. I don't think this is definitely worth whatever. I think those are 70 to 80-ish bucks typically. I don't know what it'll be in our drop, but we did do a Green River pick. We picked 2 barrels of Green River non-wheated. One just tasted like peach rings, and the other one was a kind of a different profile than that. And then we picked a barrel of Bardstown as well. Sam's a sheep for some reason. Papa's Pilar pick update. Those supposedly shipped today. So there is a chance you will see those in not this coming release, because that one's already planned out, but the release after that. No guarantee though, because we're starting to get a lot of stuff in. And so we're like, this time we're dropping 10 bottles. We may drop 10 bottles, we may drop more bottles, but we might have 30 barrels to choose from by the time the next drop actually comes around. So. It must not show up on his end for some reason. Psychopathic Gaming, what must not show up on my end? What am I missing? Still hasn't noticed $25, but I haven't noticed it's $25 super chat. What are you talking about? $25 what? What did I miss? What have I missed? I don't know what I missed. You gifted Oh, it just popped. Yeah, I see it over there. I'm sorry, I missed that. Those show up a little weird. The way I've got it set up, I need to change some settings to make sure those set up. I got to kind of look for them. But thank you for gifting those memberships. It does not show me who they went to, though. It's just kind of like a little footnote over there. I apologize for missing those. I will try to make sure I keep an eye out for those more. I thought it was just somebody signed up for one new membership because they kind of show up the same way. I apologize for that. I will work on it to make sure we acknowledge those better in the future. Thank you for bringing that to my attention. Where are the drops? Make sure you're signed up for Patron. There is a free tier, but obviously, you know, we don't know how many bottles will be available once it gets down to the free tier. So go to patreon.com/Brewzle. So like it just showed me I'm Batman, showed up to a 5 proof membership right there. So those are kind of like, they just don't show up as strong. I need to change some settings. I'll get it fixed. Now you don't know. Well, I appreciate you hanging out, and I'm sorry for the problems. Maker's Mark Keepers release. What's your take? I don't have the Keepers release. I don't have it yet. Tommy from the Bahamas. Tommy Bahama in the house. That joke's probably been said a few times, isn't it? Well, we got some Rick. Rick in the house. Another barrel pick that is going to be in this next release. This is the Old Rick 8-year. What's the proof on this sucker right here? 130 proof points. My God, have we gone through some high proof whiskey tonight? Y'all been bringing out the high proof stuff this evening. Zero Cool got one of the gifted memberships. The last Old Rick was really good. This one's really good as well. The last one was the Kentuckiana. So the blend of Kentucky and Indiana. This one's just all Kentucky. And it's a beautiful whiskey. It's the most expensive bottle in this drop, I believe, by far. And so it'll definitely be available. You're not going to have to rush to get it just based on the price point. But it's also a really, really beautiful Kentucky bourbon. Man, it's just like caramel cola notes. I'm a big fan of cola notes. I'm starting to find cola notes on a lot of whiskey these days, at least a lot more than I would have a couple of years ago. That kind of sweet, dark sugar, and that is just full of it. Thick, viscous, like it just coats that glass. That glass is just like opaque. You can barely even see through it. That's just really good 8-year-old Kentucky bourbon. Psychopathic Gaming, for this amount, can you send me an old Weller antique? They quite literally don't even allocate to my state, and thus I have no chance whatsoever. What state are you in? They're not in Oregon? Killer, or was it Miss K. Miller says. So, I mean, I hate that. I hate that they're not in your state. I just like Washington State. So you can't get Weller Antique 107 at all. Because I bought a Weller Antique in Washington. You watched that video, right? I'm pretty sure I bought a Weller Antique in the state of Washington. Was it Spokane? I'm pretty sure in Spokane, Washington, I bought a Weller Antique. I think that's the one I got. I think I got 2 Weller Antiques, maybe. I don't know. I think it was 2. It might have been 2 Stags. I'm pretty confident I got a Weller Antique in Spokane, Washington, for like less than $100. Yeah, pretty sure. In a gas station liquor store, I got a Weller Antique. So it definitely distributes to your state if you're in Washington. Keith, will there be bottle sales from various distilleries at Brewzle Fest, and who is coming so far? So pretty much everybody from last year is coming. We've got a few new folks. We're really trying to nail down the list. As I was talking earlier, the problem is if you're not sold in the state of Alabama, you got to go through a process to be able to bring whiskey in to pour at the festival. We've got several folks going through that. If we can make that process easy, there's a really solid chance we'll have twice as many distilleries. Now, we've had quite a few reach out. We've turned some away because we really want to keep this to small producers. Some of the big boys have reached out and expressed interest, and that's like they can easily outshine the small producers, and we kind of want to keep it focused on them. So we've got a few that we're trying to add right now, but it should be all the ones we had last year, plus maybe double if we can figure out that little problem with, you know, because a lot of these craft distilleries are not sold in the state of Alabama. So we're working on that. Wow, that farmer's tan is like the difference between White Claw and GTS. Are you talking about like right? Talking about this right? Talking about this right? Look at it. Oof, 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 oof. Yeah. I don't get a lot of sun, my friend, you know, trying to keep skin cancer down. Here's what's funny though, is I don't get a ton of sun in general, but like you don't want me taking my shirt off in public. Nobody wants that, really. I don't want that. Nobody wants that. But I tan really easy. So even though I like live my life indoors for the most part, if I go outside for like 2 minutes, I tan. I go to the beach, I'm gonna lightly burn, and then the next day, you're gonna think I was Puerto Rican. I wish you could get Brewzle picks shipped to Michigan as well. All right, let's see. What's your favorite Ohio-made whiskey? Middle West has some really good stuff. And then Watershed has some good stuff. I'm trying, is there a distillery I'm missing that's really good that's in Ohio other than those two? I really like, I want to say it was the sherry finished Middle West bourbon. I was a real big fan of, like, that was probably the best from them that I had. I need to go back to it now. It's been a while. I just bought a Watershed. It's coming out in some videos. I think it'll be in the one from every bottle I got last month that I liked as well. That was pretty freaking good. So, favorite cigar blends? I mean, the OG Joseph Magnus cigar blends are usually the best when they're really good, right? Some blends are better than others, but they've been some of the best. RY3's got a really good one as well. I have not tried True Story. So what do you get for a gifted membership? Well, I mean, you don't have one. If that's, I don't know what you're asking. You just get access to the membership. It supports the channel. You get access to, like, the problem here on YouTube with memberships is it's just really hard to communicate with members. So what you want to do is you want to go to Discord and link it, and you get access to the after hours chat for sure. So like after this, soon as this stream is done, I'm going to jump over there and we're going to have more like it's a little more back and forth. You can come up on stage, you can ask me questions. We just kind of talk back and forth. I could say some things there that I can't say on the stream where everybody's listening. Like there's a lot of different stuff that we can do over there on that. So that's definitely one benefit that it gets you. Access to the supporter chat on Discord as well. When I'm in Discord, I spend all my time in the supporter chat. I have a hard time keeping up with the supporter chat. There's so much going on in there. So, Sean says, do you have plans to come to Massachusetts? Yes, we are working on that. We are trying to find time to come up and maybe do some picks with Whistle Pig up in Vermont, I believe it is. And we're just trying to coordinate all of the states north of New York, bourbon hunting up there, having a good time around that pick. So we don't have a date set yet on that. What needs to be done to sell your barrel picks in South Dakota? Probably a whole lot of political clout and changing some laws. There's some states that are just like, we ship to every state. Our retailer handles all that for us. We ship to every state they'll allow us to ship to. If they can't ship to it, they're just laws that prevent it. That's really what it boils down to. You need to come to Massachusetts. You need to come to Massachusetts. Like I said, it's happening. We're just waiting on a date for those Whistle Pig things. Frank, traveling Lexington, Owensboro over Memorial Day weekend. Any hidden gem distilleries, gift shops, store picks worth checking out? Lexington to Owensboro, not Burr, I assume. So if you're going straight, you're going to cut right through Bardstown as well. So you're going to have Lexington, Bardstown, Owensboro. I mean, a lot of those distilleries are worth checking out, right? Any of the major ones you can get into are usually great tours. It depends on how many days you have. Liquor store wise, we've hunted Lexington, we've hunted Bardstown, we have not hunted Owensboro. So I don't know a lot about the Owensboro market. I do know Green River's there. That's, you should definitely check that out. Barrelheads is a store there. Dude, I bought an E.H. Taylor small batch for $45 at Barrelhead. They had a huge selection. They had an RY3 rum finished. It was a rye finished in a rum barrel that was fantastic on clearance for like 20-something bucks. That's a good store. If you're going through Bardstown, stop at Bardstown Burger. That's like my favorite place to eat in Bardstown. I absolutely love that place. Got great onion rings. The burgers are fantastic. Across the street is Evergreen, best store there. They usually have some allocated stuff they'll play games with. They'll hide like a potato in the store, and if you find the potato, you can buy the allocated stuff. They had a ton of Wild Turkey 8, like 3 or 4 cases of it sitting there when I was there a week ago. Great selection, good place. Polite Pig across the street's another cool store. Doesn't have a ton of allocated stuff, but they really know what they're talking about, and they're worth a visit as well. Other than that, you just have to check the video. Lexington had a good time at Kroger. That was fun. Actually, I'm sorry, I think the Kroger was in Franklin we went to, right? You just have to check that video. I forget store names to a lot of these players where they're at, right? So they all just blur together at some point. But hopefully that gives you a little insight. Those are definitely some places to check out. And if you go into Bardstown Burger, dude, let me know what you think. They won't know who I am, but let me know what you think about that. I'm a fan. And then Evergreen across the street. Let the liquor stores know I sent you. It's probably not going to, it might help you, it probably won't. Novak, when is the next Brewzle game show? I've just been busy. I've got to order some equipment. We're trying to work on some anti-cheat mechanisms for the next game. I hope to do one next month sometime. I hope. I've just got to have time to figure that out, pick the winner early enough that's going to go on it, and then send that equipment to them. And it's a lot of work. And unfortunately, with the travel schedule, the distillery work that's going on, I just haven't had the time to do it. That OFC is still sitting in there in my safe, ready for the next person to try to win it. We're going to do it. I just need a little time because the first person didn't know what was coming. It was hard for them to cheat because they just didn't know how they would be able to cheat. Now we're just concerned somebody will cheat and basically steal that OFC from us. That's the concern. And so we want to work on some anti-cheating mechanisms, and we have some ideas there. We just need to find time to do it, right? We're definitely, we did a Still Austin pick previously, John. We're definitely going to get back out there and do some more picks. Entry-level whiskey for someone who's never really had whiskey. You want to start with low-proof stuff. Try some Jack Daniels. Try some Jim Beam. Nothing wrong with that. I typically like stuff a little higher proof, but what you want to do is just try 2 or 3 whiskeys, get a proper whiskey glass, right? All right, that is it. There's a few barrel picks we didn't get to for the next drop. We've got an Old Soul that's going to be in this one. We've got a couple of Driftless Glens here. as well, the wheated and a rye. Those are both exceptional. Unfortunately, didn't make the stream, but, you know, drank a whole bunch already. So, damn, tater salad got kicked out. Dang, man. That sucks, tater salad. You know, maybe next time you won't be an asshole and you might be able to stick around. That sucks. Man. Always somebody. There's always, dude. It's, you know, we just want to be helpful. And I'm not fishing for compliments. It's fine, right? All we want to be is helpful. We want to have a good time. We want to show that this is fun, that this is not pretentious. You don't have to be some whiskey expert. We show the mistakes. We keep them in videos. I rinse in between with Dr. Pepper Zeros. Like, I know what we're doing is resonating with a lot of people. It just sucks. I just hate it that some people can't get on board with it. Like, it just, some people are pretentious or snobby or arrogant or whatever, or maybe we're doing something wrong, right? I'm not blaming them. Maybe there's something to what we're doing to where they just feel like they've got to be negative about stuff. And that just kind of sucks, you know? Makes me feel bad for them. It really does. Makes me feel bad for them. And that's cool, you know? It is what it is. I hope they have a good life. I don't know why they have to put so much energy into trying to come in here and you know, show off. But they got the attention they were looking for. Won't mention it anymore. And Psychopathic Gaming dropped another 5 memberships. See, I can't see over here where I keep up with that, but if I notice it early enough, I can see right here that Matt Buchanan, Big Red, Jimmy, Dragon B, Chris Garner, and Group Anonymous all were gifted a membership. So if you were just gifted a membership, or if you're a member, you can jump into the Brewzle Discord. Somebody post a link to the Brewzle Discord. If you got Discord, you may have to download it. It may be a whole thing. There's instructions over there to link your account here, and that way you show up as a supporter. You're in the supporter only chat, and you'll be able to join me after this stream where we jump in there and it's audio. You can jump up, you could talk, everybody can talk. It's not just me talking. So I'm going to call this stream. We're going to jump over there and hang out. If you can't figure it out tonight, ask somebody, you can get some help, but there are instructions over there. You should be able to figure it out. It's not terribly complicated. I appreciate y'all hanging out. Had a good time. We will not be live next Monday. I'm going over to 13th Colony. We're going to do a barrel pick over there. And I don't know how long that's going to take and when I'll be back here. But I do not expect to be live next Monday. We'll see how it goes other than that. Otherwise, I will see y'all here in just a minute over on Discord if you're in the supporter chat and you want to join me over there.